I seen a post that said, "Would you rather have a career earning of 54 million but have 7 rings, or just have a career with having 300 million, and like you're a superstar, like all NBA, like Hall of Fame type player?" So I'm gonna start with Justin.
Nah, I definitely seen that post that you was talking about. They was talking about kind of, in context to them. I want to shout them out, but I'm forgetting their page. But I think they were kind of just trying to say, would you want to go down the lane of like a Robert Horry, who probably didn't have the most career earnings, but 7 championships, or it's a James Harden to where you accumulated about $300 million, but only has reached the NBA Finals, just one time, early in his career. um, which one would I rather choose? I feel like we've actually had these debates. I feel like I've debated this with Jock and Kareem before. Um, I'm just gonna speak just kind of like ego wise because um I feel $300 million is just something that is definitely just life changing. It's just a number that I hope to reach in life. And I'm still gonna have all of the accolades. I'm going to be known as one of the best players of all time. Just speaking of like a James Harden, I do think he has been in position to reach the NBA Finals. He did reach it one time, multiple time MVP like award winner. Like if we were kind of comparing a Robert Horry to a James Harden career, which one would you have? I probably just would take the James Harden just because of all the off the court things and things of that nature, like just the lifestyle. I probably just would go like in the direction of like a James Harden type of career over a Robert Horry.
What about you, Jim?
For me, specifically, I'll probably choose Robert Ory, just off the fact that just more so, I feel like he's more accomplished, and if you kind of keep really these superstars that really get their money and kind of accomplish so much at in the shortest span of time, they don't really seem satisfied towards the latter end of their career, and they kind of start ring chasing. And even if you kind of peep with James Harden's situation, he's not pleased moving from team to team. It's kind of obvious that he's in like thirst for a ring, so you could see that he's not satisfied. Also, even with Gary Payton too, Gary Payton is another person. Yes, he got his ring like towards the latter end, but he was definitely, I seen interviews on his time. He's like, I came to a point in my life, I did everything, and all I didn't accomplish was a ring. So I feel like it hits them like at a certain point. He's like, yeah, I'm a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, but and and actuality, you play 82 games, you play in the playoffs every year to win a ring, and I feel like too as a player too, you kind of reaching the playoffs and not being able to reach that championship, it kind of does something to you mentally as well because it's definitely challenging. You see kind of other superstars get their share due and more praise and more note like notice just for getting the ring, and I feel like I don't even being a role player, just as long as like those guys respect me, I feel like Robert Ory has the respect of Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Tim Duncan, all those guys he won rings with. He has respect of those top tier players, and I feel like that's kind of all that matters. And he played a pivotal role in winning those championships. So, and it's not like he didn't make money; like he made his millions. Like it's not 300 million, but millions at any stage is honorable for me. I'm not really too much of a like selfish guy. Like I'm fine with just millions, period. So, if I'm able to win, have millions, play my role, and come out with 7 rings, I don't really need to be all of. I'm really not that selfish as a person. Like I'm fine, as long as I got my job done and did everything to my best ability, and the guys that people honor and look up to, respect me as a player, and they, I got to be around those guys, you know, every day in day out, and I had the respect of them. That's all that really matters to me, and nobody could really share put dirt on my name for anything, so I kind of respect like a Robert Ory career just a little bit more. No slight to James Harden.
No, I was
Right.
thinking the
Uh,
same thing too. I'll let you go, Justin.
no. I just wanted to say I think you just said like the key words like a pivotal role because it's like what role did you win a championship per se? Because I know we're trying to use as example sort of like a James Harden and a Robert Ory, but that's saying like 7 championships. He made a lot of big a lot of big shots. But then even like look at someone now like a Matt Barnes, who definitely has an NBA championship, but no one really talks about him being a champion. I've just heard him say himself that like just because of the role he did play, he ended up getting hurt. So he just feels like yeah he has a championship, but he didn't play the specific role, so it doesn't really like mean much to him. So I do feel like if you are gonna take that route without the glitz and the glamour and the accolades, sort of like a James Harden, like what role did you play to win a championship or multiple championships? Because if you was just the 13th man playing like a Udonis Haslam role, like just like something like that, it's like yeah, like but it's like was you the number one, number two, number three option? Like, and if I was in that, me personally, in the position of a James Harden, I would, me personally, just being a competitor, I would be in certain moments. I think I would just be a little bit more locked in. Sometimes James Harden just, I just don't know what happens. But I guess that's a story for another day.
I feel you on that. If you want to win a ring, you want to win it on your terms. I definitely hear you on that. Like you want to be the man, you want to be the reason why. You won't have all the glitz and glamour that came with it. But for me, I definitely agree with Jalen. I'd want the 54 million in earnings as well as the 7 rings. Because an NBA championship is just something you can't like film. You can't replace that feeling. You go to the locker room, the champagne bottles, the parade, like that feeling of knowing that you're the last team standing. To me, I feel like it's just something that is just solidified in your career that you're a 7-time champion. And people might not talk about Robert Horry as much as like a guy like James Harden or any of these players of that sort. But that's just something that will always live on in NBA history. You've been a part of a winning team 7 times. You have 7 rings to your name. I feel like that's just something that you could say that you've done a lot in your career. Like as much as we won't talk about Robert Horry as much as James Harden, and James Harden being the man that he was in Houston, had a couple chances to do it on his own or do it where in his prime where he'll be noticeable. But I just feel like at the end of the day, just NBA championship just weighs what basketball is about. I feel like people get caught on a supermax contract, how much a player's worth. I understand that, and I said many times before that I don't mind players getting their money and getting what they're worth. But at the same time, is I feel like basketball is the point to where like you play the game to win. Like you play this game really just for the strength of just making a living out of a legacy at your career. Just saying I won an NBA championship. That holds a lot of value for certain guys. That's why like when we see guys like MJ, Michael Jordan didn't get paid like nearly as much money as these guys are getting paid now. We have casuals that are getting 5 years or 4 year deals and shit that Michael Jordan's never touched. But the fact that Michael Jordan has 6 rings, I feel like that's just irreplaceable. Just the fact that you just have that accolade that you know what it's like to be the last team standing, to go back to celebrate with your teammates, pop the champagnes, go out to the club, then go to that parade where a city acknowledges you for your championship and you're in history. You're in the history books for that. So for me, I take that over the 300 million and just no accolade, not really no accolade, just no championship to that. Because I feel like that's the part that's gonna eat you alive. That damn, I wish I could have done this differently, or damn, like feel me, like I know like guys like Carmelo Anthony, Allen Iverson, they had the money, but the money doesn't fill the void because they had the love of the game of basketball. And when you have the love of the game of basketball, you want to excel at the most, which is the NBA championship. So I do get people that want the money 300 million because at the end of the day, you're getting paid for being a top guy in the league. You're getting paid for just all the hard work you put in, all the time you took to really like owning in on your craft and being that type of player. So I can't knock that. But for me personally, 54 million is cool with me. I just really like. I see how the celebrations is. Anytime that we watch the end of the NBA games, NBA finals, and you see how they celebrate, you'd be like, damn. Well, me personally, like I'll be looking like, damn. Imagine that feeling. Like you really just won an NBA championship. So that's just me personally.
No,
Yeah,
right. But I just wanted to say, I think in the context of this question, I think some of our answers are saying because of the number of championships. Like first it was, if you have seven, and seven made the Michael Jordan comparison saying six. That's a lot of NBA championships. Now, I think I want to ask y'all. So now, is it a difference like if you just got one? Like, does getting one just make a 6 or 7? I feel is kind of changing the argument piece.
yeah, I was just about to say that too. Even if like big shout out to like a Danny Green, like KCPs and all those players, I still would kind of take that career because again, You feel me? You had the respect of those honorable guys. Like I'm pretty sure, Danny Green playing with Kawhi, Tim Duncan, and LeBron, they all respect him. They had that respect level. He's been in the gym with them, day in, day out, and he played a pivotal role in all those championships. So I definitely feel I still would kind of take that career, period.
So, but is it Danny Green more respected in NBA circles than James Harden? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
but the like if
Nah.
like but if I'm sitting at like if I'm James Harden, I'm being compared to a Kawhi or compared to these people that have championships and I don't. So I'm always in a race for it. You feel me? Well, I'm Danny Green. I just play my role and teams value me more than they might, I might have more value to a team than a James Harden because I've been there. I have more experience. Teammate want me more looking at me being a championship player more than a James Harden that feels like, like he's a great player, but can we really win a championship with him? I feel like my value would be more respected upon against teams, against players and anything. Players want me on their team more than, possibly like a superstar that hasn't won a ring.
No, but all right. So even speaking of Danny Green, so with the Cleveland Cavaliers just this past season, just being swept out of the first round, what impact did Danny Green make?
None, but again, he's kind of at the point at the time he's kind of nearing retirement, and he already accomplished as much as he can accomplish. There's nothing more for him to do. Like James Harden at this point in time, you can see it, and as we can all see, he's thirsting and trying to fit himself into that best situation where he could still win a ring. You can still kind of see, even though they're kind of similar in age. I think like Danny Green's about like 3 years older. Like Danny Green could retire and be satisfied with it, retiring. I feel like James Harden is still not satisfied with his career and still kind of looking for that ring.
I mean, I don't even know if with James Harden, if it's completely that, because I'm seeing with this whole situation is that he has not quote unquote re-signed or decided to stay because they don't like how he handled his deal. So it's strictly about winning an NBA championship, then he would just have opted and not said a word. But this is about construction of a deal and money.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if like James Harden was to win the ring, I don't really feel like he'd be on this hunt. Especially he wants to go to the Clippers, a team that's in contention for all these teams that James Harden is going to is in contention. The Brooklyn Nets, like the Sixers, the Clip, like he's all playing for contending teams and teams that are looking for to, go forward to that NBA Finals. So it's not like he's going to like a small market team or anything else. Like a team like the Cavaliers per se, bringing in Danny Green, they brought him in kind of to guide the young guys and being that experience winning championships and all that to try to implement something into them. So it's kind of it's kind of
Even
kind of how you view it.
go ahead. No, I don't really have too much to say. Like I can't disagree with some of
So
the